Hello friends. Today's podcast is sponsored by the VABC Association with the VABC Training Center and Phoenix Vascular Access, organization founders of the trademarked VABC and Vascular Access become certified located in Arizona. We are the gold standard, the first truly elite vascular access credential, and we are not just creating credentials, we are creating a legacy standard. Today, our sponsorship partners also include the international compliance watchdogs in vascular access, healthcare whistleblowers, and the National Vascular Access Education Society, and the VABC Vascular Access Board Certified Broadcast and Publishing Network. Our topic for today is exam dumps, false certification mills, and reports of nationwide accreditation schemes. We will be starting off with reporting how some people seek a quick path with little to no training, with passing a professional examination without accountability to safety and hands-on performance, and how the same platforms they think they are benefiting from are actually often illegal certification profit mills, creating mission statements and online presence, while performing illegal corporation schemes by the same leaders who try to emotionally and financially control the current discoveries of manipulated vascular access data in healthcare to avoid massive fines and safety investigations. Let's begin with individuals seeking to validate performance skills and knowledge base, with finding websites and online sellers offering what seems like an easy solution or what appears to be provided with permission or safety and expertise validation, but in actuality are illegitimate. One of these areas are often called exam dumps or certification mills by investigators. Practice tests that promise to contain the exact questions and answers from an upcoming certification test. The sales pitch is simple and alluring. Buy our files, memorize the answers. You are guaranteed to pass. This promise, however, is a dangerous illusion. Taking this shortcut is not just a form of cheating. It is a significant risk that can dismantle a career, endanger the public, and undermine the very foundation of professional credibility. The act of purchasing and using these materials is a profound ethical breach with far-reaching consequences. The problem is widespread, touching nearly every field that relies on certified professionals. Information technology, healthcare. The temptation is understandable. Exams are expensive, stressful, time-consuming to prepare for, and often carry high stakes for career advancement. In this high-pressure environment, the illegal market for exam content thrives by preying on anxiety and the desire for certainty. But the product being sold is fundamentally flawed. It bypasses the entire purpose of an examination. A certificate earned through fraudulent means and sold to individuals not authorized by law to perform the medical service is not a symbol of achievement. It is a hollow document built on an embellished lie that erodes what real qualifications entail, and it is done strictly for profits. This podcast will explore the severe and often career-ending risks associated with using exam dumps and certification mills. We will detail the harm these shortcuts can inflict on an individual's education, professional future, and the safety of proper patient care procedures. We will also expose the hidden dangers of fraud, financial scams, identity theft that are rampant in this unregulated online marketplace. Furthermore, we will examine the broader threat to professional standards and public safety, particularly in critical fields like healthcare. Finally, we will highlight the proactive measures being taken by the VABC Association with the VABC Training Center, Phoenix Vascular Access, and the founders of the VABC registered trademark and their Vascular Access Become Certified movement to combat this issue through a national reporting platform and compliance watchdog network. We will offer a clear call to action for all professionals to uphold the integrity of their chosen fields. The decision to use an exam dump or certification mill is a critical one, but it is often made without a full understanding of the potential fallout. The immediate goal of passing a test can obscure the long-term damage being done. This is not a harmless life hack or a clever workaround. It is a serious transgression that can lead to professional ruin and patient death. It harms the individual who cheats, the colleagues who work alongside them, the employers who trust them, and, most importantly, the public who depends on their training and certified expertise. The path of integrity, though it requires more effort, is the only one that leads to a secure and respectable career. The shortcut offered by exam dumps and certification mills leads to a dead end. Engaging with exam dumps poses an immediate and severe threat to one's educational and professional standing. The most direct consequence is the invalidation of credentials. Certification bodies and educational institutions have sophisticated methods for detecting cheating, including statistical analysis of test results and monitoring online forums. If a candidate is caught using unauthorized materials, the testing organization can cancel their score. This often comes with more severe penalties. The individual may be barred from retaking the examination for a number of years, or in some cases, permanently. This action effectively halts a career path, making it impossible to gain the required certification to practice in a chosen field. The short-term gain of a passing grade can quickly be erased by the long-term penalty of a professional ban. Beyond immediate sanctions, the reputational damage can be catastrophic and permanent. When dishonesty is discovered, the information rarely stays contained. Employers may be notified, leading to termination of employment. Healthcare facilities by law have strict licensing policies, and individuals and facilities caught using exam dumps to qualify their teams without proper training and certification can face fines, suspension, and licensure issues. This disciplinary action can become a permanent part of their professional record. Because trust is the cornerstone of any professional relationship, and once broken by an act of cheating, it is incredibly difficult to rebuild. Your name can become associated with dishonesty, making future employers wary of hiring you. The consequences extend into workplace realities. A person who passes using an exam dump, certification mill, or using any organization operating illegally, selling invalid vascular access certifications, does not qualify for legal, safe, and ethical practice. They possess a piece of paper, but it is void of any legal and integral value. This knowledge gap becomes apparent, unable to perform basic tasks, making critical thinking errors, or requiring constant supervision. In a team environment, this erodes morale and places an unfair burden on others. Eventually, poor performance leads to negative reviews, demotion, or dismissal, proving the shortcut leads to failure. The risk is not hypothetical. Testing organizations are increasingly vigilant and share information about violators. Being placed on a blacklist by one organization can lead to being flagged by others. The digital footprint from purchasing or accessing exam dumps can be traced. The dream of advancing a career turns into closed doors and lost opportunities. The risk to your professional license, your job, and your reputation is too high a price for a certification that is illegal. The world of illegal exam dumps and certification mills is not just ethically dubious. It is a treacherous digital landscape filled with financial scams, identity thieves, and malicious software. When you purchase from these unregulated sites or go to platforms selling books on how to study for certified exams by unauthorized individuals selling milling books for profits and who have not been given legal permission by the registered trademark owners to oversee its safety, accuracy, and its content, you are not dealing with a legitimate business. You are transacting with anonymous individuals, criminal syndicates whose goal is to exploit your desire for a shortcut and/or profit on what cannot be verified as safe. One common risk is outright financial fraud, money sent via untraceable methods like cryptocurrency or wire transfers, and you receive nothing. The website disappears, the account is deleted, and the money is gone. The guarantee of passing is a marketing lie. Even when files arrive, the content is often worthless. Obsolete questions and incorrect answers that cause you to fail or make you believe you passed, all becoming a waste of time and money. One of many sinister risks include providing your personal and financial security information, professional license number, full name, email address, physical address, credit card details, handed to criminals. In the wrong hands, this data is a goldmine. New credit accounts, fraudulent tax returns, crimes in your name. Recovery is long, stressful, and expensive. Files are often vehicles for malware, viruses, spyware, keyloggers, ransomware that infect your device and network. A keylogger records everything you type: online banking, email passwords, social media passwords, Ransomware can encrypt your files and trigger a cybersecurity incident, compromising your data and possibly your employer's systems, creating a ripple effect far beyond what you imagined. When individuals use exam dumps or certification mills to obtain certification, the damage extends far beyond their own careers. It erodes the very standards of the profession. Proper training and certification is a reliable signal to employers, colleagues, the public, of standardized competence. When cheating becomes common, this signal loses meaning. Employers can no longer trust that certified individuals are qualified, forcing costly extra screening. This devalues proper training and certification for everyone, especially those who earned it honestly. This erosion of trust has profound implications for public safety, healthcare, aviation, engineering. Consider a vascular access nurse who used an exam dump or certification mill. They may not understand sterile technique, miss signs of infection, or not manage complications like a thrombus, leading to life-threatening harm. A fraudulent certificate in unqualified hands puts the public directly in harm's way. An incompetent engineer might approve a flawed design, bridge collapse, building failure. In aviation, a missed engine issue could result in catastrophe. Public safety relies on a chain of trust. Widespread cheating weakens every link, threatening society as a whole. Undermining training and exam integrity is a direct threat to well-being. Normalizing cheating creates a toxic culture that rewards dishonesty and penalizes integrity. In response to the growing threat that exam dumps and certification mills pose to healthcare and patient safety, the VABC Association with the VABC Training Center, together with Phoenix Vascular Access and the owners of the VABC registered trademark and founders of the Vascular Access Become Certified Training and Certification movement, have taken a decisive leadership role. Recognizing that protecting training and certification integrity requires proactive, collaborative effort, the VABC has developed and now leads a national reporting platform, including reporting non-profit fraud in healthcare in vascular access. Flowchart. Report submitted. VABC investigation. Collaboration with employers, authorities. Action taken. It provides a clear, structured, confidential mechanism for anyone to report fraudulent activity. Healthcare professionals, employers, concerned members of the public. The platform is engineered for simplicity and effectiveness. Users can submit detailed reports about suspicious activities, websites selling exam dumps, social ads for answers, or candidates suspected of using unauthorized materials and obtaining certifications from illegally operating organizations. To build a strong case, provide evidence, screenshots, URLs, usernames, and communication records. Upon receiving a report, the VABC Association and our compliance watchdogs verifies information, tracks digital footprints, and documents intellectual property theft and fraud evidence. The VABC Association with the VABC Training Center collaborates with employers, educational institutions, other certification bodies, and, when necessary, law enforcement agencies. By sharing information and coordinating efforts, offenders are identified and penalized, both sellers and those who use stolen material. The platform disrupts illegal networks and educates the community. The message is clear: the profession is committed to integrity, and violators will be held accountable. Protecting the VABC safety in training, credentials, honest careers, and every patient. Navigating the pressures of professional training and certification requires a commitment to integrity and a clear understanding of how to prepare properly and ethically. Make a firm decision to never purchase or use exam materials from unauthorized or unknown sellers online. These sources operate outside legality and ethics. If the education materials are not stamped with our VABC registered trademark, with a legal document that can prove our direct authorization and internal code of use, you have obtained unauthorized and illegal material. Rely on our official resources and advanced security networks only. Rather than memorizing answers, focus on mastery, core concepts and principles. Form study groups with peers committed to honest preparation, and use only legal-approved resources by our organization. Be suspicious of unsolicited offers via social media, email, or forums. These are almost certainly scams. Never share personal identification, login credentials, or payment information with anyone outside our designated resources. If you made the mistake of buying illegal materials from unauthorized organizations, correct it immediately. Do not use them. Delete all related files to reduce malware risk. Take proactive, honest steps. Report the seller to the VABC Association platform at vabcassociation.org, and depending on your situation, disclose your organization, university, or employer. Honesty now is better than discovery later. Reporting helps protect others and demonstrates integrity and accountability. Combating exam fraud and certification mills cannot be solved by training and certification bodies alone. It requires a collective commitment from every member of a profession. The moment a credential is sold, issued outside legal licensure alignment, or colluded to achieve hospital entitlement procedures that go against federal laws of licensure and professional license limits, it ceases to be a credential and becomes a commercially abused permission slip that erodes true credential integrity. This is a classic pattern of economic substitution of legally, safely, and most qualified professionals holding valid licenses and then cloaking lower-level professionals outside the scope of practice with an underground movement of credentialing to reform, brainwashing healthcare professionals to believe the credential can be taken by anyone beyond the actual scope of care professional. This movement is methodical and exposes the patient to harm and misrepresentation of who is placing a vascular access medical line. Facilities calling team members vascular access specialists, misrepresenting themselves to patients and the healthcare community. In our investigation, we found certification mills issuing pay-to-play and false accreditation and credentialing messages in these spaces, including introducing a non-regulated certification that was a pay-to-play, illegally presented and set up to sell to thousands of healthcare workers. These organizations appear to have created this model for personal gain of leaders and organizations and to create a widespread economic replacement of legally fully qualified licensed professionals in the scope of vascular access with those who were not in the scope of practice, but could appear to meet hospitals' attempted appear compliant of certification methods for Medicare payments and to going around federal laws. Replacing nurses and doctors with cheaper labor, like respiratory therapists, who are not qualified under license for vascular access medical line placement. And reports also showed hospital employers forcing registered nurses to train out-of-scope licensed professionals or be fired, and then eventually lose their job anyway. This was all one big lie that has crushed our vascular access industry, doctors, nurses, national metrics, and the entire healthcare industry. What we are discussing here now is not only exam dumps and certification mills, but when it is all mapped out in report of findings, this is credentialing laundering in healthcare, where organizations enable unlicensed practice and erode patient safety, illegally and through mass deception. Choosing honest conversation and proper board certification methods is not just about avoiding penalties. It affirms your commitment to your profession and the people you serve. The shortcut offered by exam dumps, certification mills, or going to unauthorized platforms betrays that commitment, trading long-term honor and public trust for a moment of unearned success. Think of certification not as a hurdle, but as a promise. To employers that you are trained and competent, to colleagues that you are reliable, and in healthcare, to patients that you will care for them safely. Using an exam dump or certification mills and unauthorized platforms is dangerous and breaks this promise before it is even made. The real reward only can come in confidence from genuine mastery, a confidence that can never be purchased or faked. Therefore, the call to action is clear and urgent. First, commit to your own integrity. Use only our official board-certified proprietary information from our approved licensed and training administrator. Invest the time to truly learn. The knowledge will be the bedrock of a successful career. Second, be a guardian of standards. If you encounter exam dumps, certification mills, boardroom fraud, report them. Use platforms like the one provided by the VABC Association. Speak up and become a healthcare whistleblower. Protect the value of our certification movement by protecting the process of ensuring your professional license does not become compromised by individuals in healthcare illegally manipulating and abusing licensing laws, corporation laws, governance, involved in pay-to-play accreditation schemes, and that may also be involved in the abuse of billing fraud with insurance companies by illegally using professionals with licenses that are not legally or safely qualified to place medical vascular access lines, yet being providing vascular access certificates by these certification mills to allege qualifications for placement. Third, remember, the VABC board certification is only permitted for doctors and nurses. Any other license under a nurse's licenses does not qualify under our VABC board certification for safest placement. Therefore, any vascular access procedure performed by a respiratory therapist is considered outside scope of practice. That fact alone makes it non-billable under federal law. Fourth, we found the same exam dumps and certification mills are involved in the widespread manipulation of healthcare workers, getting them to believe these certification mills have an invested interest in healthcare professionals' licenses and credentialing. But the overwhelming evidence we found points to these certification mills being connected and involved in widespread fraud schemes and illegally operating for decades. Included in our discovery was hospitals billing insurance companies for procedures that were outside of the scope of practice in vascular access, but could be skewed as a certified professional by a self-made hospital policy. Fifth and final for today, what we just shared here is called credential laundering in healthcare and will not be tolerated in any shape or form. It's simply a major danger to patients and those who invested in their professional licenses and doctors and nurses where metrics are connected to scope of care and safety. We believe VABC and its birthed mission to do good in training and certification since we birthed it in 2009 and put it into the market is in crisis. And we believe several healthcare accreditation organizations have been infiltrated with major illegal activities. Together, we make our voices a movement of ending illegal actions, false and masked metrics, policy manipulation, and stopping the confusion. Thank you for listening to our VABC podcast. VABC is a registered trademark. Established in 2009 and board certified since 2010, the VABC credential is governed under the VABC Training Center Board and the board's predecessor organizations. Vascular Access Becomes Certified TM is a claimed trademark in continuous use in commerce since 2010, established in 2009, under the same board-certified authority of the VABC Training Center. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to our next VABC podcast. Have a great day.